Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome to the Hangin' With Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you go down there and hit subscribe. And don't forget to check out the description down below for info on our guests and our partners and where you can find us on the web. We are here hanging at Space Coast Comic-Con at the Holiday Inn Express in Cocoa, Florida. And we are here and we are hanging with Timothy Morris.
Yay.
And we are hanging with Tim, the author of The Epic of Will, and the serialization, The Ballad of Bayon Stormhammer.
Yes.
Okay. Whew, I'm going to catch my breath real quick. This is your turn. Okay, so I'll tell you what, we have here, The Ballad of Bayon Stormhammer, right?
Yes.
Let's take a look at that real quick. We're going to hold that up and spin that in for our viewers. So let's start here.
Okay.
And let's talk about the Ballad of Bayon Stormhammer. Why?
Why? That's a hard one.
So what inspired the story? What made you want to do this?
Writing in general, I've wanted to do since I was about 8.
Okay.
I went to my first convention when I was like 10 with one of my uncles. Met a couple writers. They were all really, really kind. Gave genuine advice. And it was something that I tinkered with growing up, all through everything. Then I had kind of a rough patch with my very first publisher. Did not get along well with them. There were some differences of opinion on how things should have been done. So when I did Trinity of Worlds, which is what came before The Epic of Will, I went through the avenue. Instead of just self-publishing, I started a publishing company with myself and a few other authors. Currently, there's 6 of us. We like to look at ourselves as a writing collective.
It's becoming more and more a very, very commercialized thing. Is a writers cooperative.
Yes.
To get the writers together, who normally, like you said, would be self-published, but to set up a publishing company to help each other edit, help get the right cover designers.
Exactly.
And then, of course, the other end of things is help sell a book.
Yeah, it was one of those things. And then I started off with just my work because if I was going to fail, I wanted to only affect me. But Trinity of Worlds did really well. Then our first convention, we went to South Carolina Comic-Con about 2 years ago. And we had just tremendous success. We've been doing conventions ever since then. So that's writing in general. The Ballad of Bayon Stormhammer specifically, one of the things that kind of relit my fire to do the whole publishing writing thing was I had a cousin who was really, really close to me back in 2013 die of colon cancer. And when I went to visit him in hospice, it wasn't oh, I'm so sick thing. He scolded me while sick in his bed about not doing enough to further my writing career. And Bayon Stormhammer was actually a character he had created in a tabletop role-playing game that I had made to help develop the writing world in general.
Wow.
So when we decided that for every writing world that we produced, that there was going to be a serial novel to help keep something fresh, something new, always available for fans and readers.
That is awesome.
So when I was trying to think of a character that I could make last throughout the entire writing world, Bayon Stormhammer was it. So that's why he was the character for the serial novel.
That's amazing. That's fantastic, man. Now, tell us a little bit about how readers have responded. Well, tell you what, overall, let's start with the publishing process. Rather than just moving as an indie author, you chose to go as a writing cooperative and publish.
Right.
How have you found the process?
It can be daunting at times. There was, probably still is, a lot of learning curve to get past. The more research you do on how to do it better, the more you learn and stuff like that. The moment you stop trying to get better is the moment you start getting worse. That's a philosophy that I use.
It really is. But what's amazing is that you were able to, the initial hurdle is doing it.
Yes.
It really is, because so many people are intimidated by what they don't know.
Yes.
And the only way you ever get to know it is if you can get over that initial intimidation and jump in and say, you know what, I'm a publisher.
Yeah.
Now let me go learn how to be a publisher.
Yeah. One of the things that is really impressive about the writing community as a whole is everybody's willing to help everybody else. It's not like when you're in business selling a widget, the other guy that makes the same type of widget isn't really that keen on helping you get better at making your widget. But with writing, I've never run into that.
Everybody is so willing to share tips and tricks.
Exactly.
The business cards that come. Here's a good editor. Here's a great cover designer. Here's the guy that does. If you want to do your own covers, here's a model that I use. They're great. Everybody gives you everything that you need, and support-wise, it's wonderful.
It's just such a good community. It's one of those when people are scared of getting started. I'm like, don't be. There's thousands of people out there that have tried to do this that have failed enough to know how to help.
And this is an industry. You fail uphill.
Yes, absolutely.
This isn't because there's somebody standing behind you. There's another writer. There's another creator that's willing to help push you forward.
Yep, every time.
I did. I went over my first published work I put out, and just fresh as an indie author. Before we'd formed a company, before we did anything. There it is. World have it. And I've since put out a second edition, but. I said to myself, I'm putting that first edition back out for sale after a while because I want other writers to see. Don't be afraid to push publish.
Yeah.
Just go, because having done that put me in a room with guys like you, with other writers, and that put me in a position to learn how to do it better.
Exactly.
So that is awesome. So we have several books out there right now.
Yes.
So let's just kind of go down the list here, okay? Ready to scroll. We're going to scroll here.
All right. So the first thing that TNM put out, and coincidentally my first book, is called Trinity of Worlds. The tagline for it was The Epic Tale of a Boy and His Sword. It is the story of a warlord who goes on a search for the ultimate quest. Basically, he's trying to find someone better than he is. And it takes him through the different realms that make up the writing world of Vosteris.
Okay.
And my phone is making strange noises.
That happened. We're at a Comic-Con, so the phones, when they ring around here, they don't just ring.
They make fun noises.
We've got droids, we've got superheroes, we've got epic John Williams songs.
I haven't heard any.
I just walk around, man. I'm telling you, you'll get it. You'll get it.
I'm sure.
It's here. So okay, so from there.
So Trinity. So after he goes out and tries to find the ultimate challenge, he goes into each of the realms that make up Vosteris, which is the name of the fantasy writing world we produce. And when he finally makes it back home, everything has changed. And it's all because of this event called the Collision of Worlds, which is what the full-length novel series is currently revolving around. The books are set up so that even though they intertwine with each other, they're completely independent of each other. So it doesn't matter in which order you read them. You can read Trinity of Worlds first, or you can read the Epic of Will first.
The stories are independent, but the world and the world building is all the same.
Just like right now, there's something super important happening somewhere across the globe that you and I have no idea about.
I'm positive of that.
There's probably stuff happening here that you and I have no idea
upstairs somewhere, about. And
so that's the idea behind the writing world is even though these characters exist in the same world and their actions both contribute to the greater whole, the stories are very independent of each other. You don't have to read this one to read this one. And so there's still those little Easter eggs and little bits and pieces of
back to that last
foreshadowing.
other one or the next one.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is fantastic. And we have this is a stanza 2.
Yes. So the serial novel program is something that TNM does. Like I said, it's just to keep every writing world producing something fresh. It maintains that connection with readers so that they always have something to read. And you also get that nice little thrill of being the first to read something. It's a paid subscription. It's $2 a month. It's dirt cheap.
Nice.
And it's ongoing, continuous storylines without a planned end. So with the Ballad of Bayon Stormhammer, to keep with the whole ballad nomenclature, instead of going with books and chapters, it's stanzas and verses.
Okay, great.
So we're currently, as far as the writing goes, we're in stanza 3.
Okay.
And I believe we just put out verse 26 last week.
Wow.
So stanza 3 is for subscribers only right now because it hasn't wrapped up that story arc. At the end of every story arc, we send out a signed paperback copy to every subscriber.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. That's a great way to do that. It really is. So, writers are readers.
Yes.
When they can be. So, aside from in-house, reading, what are you reading right now? What's on your night table?
I just picked up, it was a Domino Girl novel by an author called Bobby Nash.
Okay.
Super, super cool guy. I actually met him at a convention.
Awesome.
And we hang out. I always have Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, just there.
Always.
Well, it's
always.
a guide. You need to have it handy.
Well, the fun fact, TNM is not my initials. It stands for the New Magrathea, which in Hitchhiker's Guide is the planet that makes all the other planets.
Nice.
So when we decided we wanted to be
Make
a writers
worlds.
co-op that made unique writing worlds, we couldn't think of a better name.
That's fantastic. That is awesome. So, we like to go out to social media and find out what people want to know.
Okay.
So they surprise me.
Okay.
They go out and troll for all manner of goofy questions from the social media universe, and then they pop them up behind the camera, and I'm supposed to ask the question with a straight face.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes. So, okay. What or whose ghost would you least like to encounter?
It's got to be Edgar Allan Poe.
No doubt.
As
No
creepy as he
doubt.
was alive, him as a ghost, I
Yeah,
don't want to deal with that level of frightening.
That's bad. We don't want to know anything about the Ravens call there. Okay, so apparently this is a thing. That's not me.
Okay.
If you were a box of cereal, what would you be?
Gotta go with Peanut Butter Captain Crunch.
Peanut butter Captain Crunch. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Writers have massively great imaginations, okay? So we're going to put you into one of your worlds.
Okay.
But we're at a Comic-Con. We got to go all the way with this.
Okay.
Ultimate superpower. What do you got to have, man?
Within my writing world or just in general?
Just in general.
In general,
Just go for
to
it.
snap my fingers and have $20 appear in my hand. It's the best superpower there could ever be, because even if you abuse it, no one really knows. No one's going to ask you to help them move. There's no negative side effects. It's just when you need $20, you have $20.
Now, can you snap multiple times?
Yes.
That's important, because sometimes you need a little more than a 20.
Yeah, sometimes you just, I got to make a quick trip to the bathroom, then you come back with $300. No one knows how you got it.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Very, very cool. All right, we want to know a little bit about you. We know about the books. We know about the publishing company. Got to know a little bit about you.
Okay.
Favorite knock-knock joke?
It's got to be the interrupting cow.
I like that. I like that. We're not doing it. You're gonna have to
We're
go
not doing it?
get one of the kids to do that to you. If you don't know what it is, you have to have it done. We got to wrap it up, man. This has been fun. Tim, thanks so much. We've been hanging with Timothy Morris, the Ballad of Bayon Stormhammer. This is a serial novel that you subscribe.
Yes.
And we're going to put that link down in the description below so you can head on over there and subscribe. Check out more from the TNM Publishing Company. You got to rewind this if you want to know what that stands for. It's not Timothy. It's not. Anyway, so as we wrap up, we're going to do our special thanks to Something Unique Magazine, the Florida Book News, Famous Faces and Funnies, the Wordfire Press team, the folks over at the Historical Miniature Gaming Society, the South Chapter. Those are our great sponsors. They're sharing these videos all over the World Wide Web for us. We are at Space Coast Comic-Con Holiday in Cocoa, Florida, all weekend long. I'm GW Pomichter. We've been hanging with Timothy Morris, an author and publisher. If you're looking to get published, guys, okay, TNM Publishing LLC. Remember, subscribe, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.